Hi there. So, Venus is in Scorpio, as anyone who watches my videos will know, and that is putting an emphasis on ensuring that our relationships have a deeper bond. Now, this is becoming a little bit more important right now, and we will be starting to push away from and not want to put as much time into relationship dynamics that we do not feel have a close bond, that we do not feel is a place that we can share our secrets. We'll be starting to look at things in a more of a commitment-based mentality, including the whole relationship as a whole, as well as things like investing, our joint finances, things like that are coming into play in relationship dynamics. So on my website currently, I have got a special up for couples birth chart readings. So this can be just two people, it can be a friend, it can be a family member, it can be a potential partner, it can be your own partner. And the things that we can learn from looking at two birth charts together is how we complement each other or how we might struggle. So I'm going to be giving a few examples, and today we are looking at these two charts here, which is a Leo Sun and a Virgo Sun chart. So I'll just give a few examples of what we can discern from these two charts, okay? So we can see that they both have a Venus in Virgo. Now this makes the person very aware of the give and take of service in a relationship dynamic. So Virgo Sun is someone who very much likes to do things themselves and has a hard time asking for help, whereas a Leo Sun is someone who often believes that the world can owe them. It's that sun energy ruled by the sun, so that royal kind of energy. And Leo, as a primitive energy in a child, if it is not praised in the correct way, it can often grow up believing that it's owed a special attention and treatment, which if you want more information on that, please check out my small astrology series on YouTube. So the reason I am pointing that out is because even though they both have a Venus in Virgo, which seems like they should both have the same idea of give and take, with that Leo Sun, it can potentially show up a little bit different. Particularly as well on these charts, we can see that the Venus in Virgo of the Virgo Sun chart is in the 8th house. So this is a deep house of transformation. It is the depth of their core that they would understand and need this need for a balance of service, and they would need that to be equal. Whereas the Leo Sun chart, we can see the Venus is in the 9th house of purpose, and the house of purpose is also ruled by Leo. So the idea of a balanced give and take is based on the belief system that is in a Leo energy, meaning that there is that high risk of believing that they are owed special royalty treatment. So you can see, even though they both have a Venus in Virgo, the two meanings of that are very different. The next two things that I find very interesting on these two charts together in a relationship dynamic is that Scorpio is representative of deep feeling and deep transformation, and it is through deep bonded relationships that these transformations take place. So for the Virgo Sun, the moon here is in Scorpio. So this is the emotional house. So this is where we can see that this is somebody who would feel things very deeply and would need to have emotional connections with people where they can share things on a very deep level. And the give and take of that, with that Venus in Virgo, would need to also be equal. So Virgo Sun has that Scorpio in Moon, Saturn, and Pluto, which is the rule structure, Saturn and the underworld, Pluto. So there is a lot of deep emotional watery energy in the Virgo Sun chart. And then if we look at the Leo Sun chart, there is no Scorpio energy in there. And so the 8th house, which is representative of Scorpio energy, is ruled by Cancer. Now, Cancer is renowned for a withholding emotions kind of space, to the point of an emotional overload, to the point of building that hard Cancer shell and not wanting to share anything. So that could be an issue with an understanding in this relationship dynamic of the level of emotional connection that can be available to these parties. The next thing we look at here is the 2nd house. So the 2nd house represents how we see our worth, financial worth, self-worth. So in relation to this relationship dynamic, I'm going to look at it in self-worth. The Virgo sun chart finds their self-worth in Pisces energy, which is deep, bottom of the ocean, emotional, healing, spirituality. So they find a lot of their self-worth in being able to be of service to other people in healing and in having a connection to a spiritual side. The Leo sun chart here finds their self-worth in discipline and achievement. Okay, so two very different energies there. The Virgo sun's relationship house is ruled by Leo energy. And on first glance, you might think, okay, well, that's a Leo sun, so they should go very well together. But Leo energy in the relationship house means that there is a need to have space in that relationship connection to be able to shine their full light brightly, proudly, creatively, without being shut down, without, being judged for that, needing to be praised for the work that they put in on being themselves. Whereas the Leo sun chart shows the relationship house in Cancer energy, which again is that energy of often repressing emotions, being overloaded. It's because they would intuitively be feeling in relationships the other person's emotions, but not be willing to express their own, not know how to express their own, and have a complete emotional overload and shutdown. So this is someone who could show up very needy in a relationship, very needy for that Cancer being the mother energy, very needy for that nurturing and care, but also very guarded of their own emotions. So with that expectation of the Leo sun of being owed being owed the good things in life, this is the chart of someone who could be very needy, very unable to share emotions, and be very expecting that this Virgo sun would be willing to give all of the nurturing that is required without them having to return it and without them having to connect on a deep emotional level. And to a Scorpio moon placement, that can feel very unsupportive and very untrustworthy. So then we look at the communication in these charts in relation to relationships, and we can see that the Virgo sun here needs to have communication in the relationship because the Virgo placement here is in the 7th house of partnership. So there needs to be space for discussion and opinion. And because the 3rd house here is ruled by Aries, this is someone who has a lot of confidence in their own communication. And from that Leo energy, which can be very unable to hear other people's opinions. And in that 8th house, it is something that they believe to their core. So Virgo sun also here, when we look at the Mars placement, is an action taker with the Mars in Sagittarius. That's that fire, shoot an arrow into the distance energy. And that Leo sun energy in the Mars placement is that Cancer energy again. And now Cancer, again, if you're interested in any of this from children's perspective, go and check out Small Astrology, because the one that I did on a small Cancer, so a Cancer child, Cancer has that energy of really needing to be shown how to take action, to be shown initiative, to be shown about how to move forward. So a Cancer placement in a Mars house can represent someone who is unable to take action, someone who's unable to make decisions. And it really has that energy of, a Cancer sun person, the Cancer energy doesn't really feel like it owes it to anyone to achieve anything. And so showing up in a Mars placement there, it can be someone who's a little reluctant to take action. And again, with both of these charts having Venus in Virgo, the give and take of service could be very unbalanced with those two Mars energies, one being quite moving forward and one being, not really seeing moving forward as a necessity. It's also very interesting to me in these charts, the North Node and the Chiron wound both being in Gemini. Now, that is the wound of not feeling like you can speak up for yourself, being spoken over as a child, feeling like your thoughts aren't really important. So it's interesting how this Chiron wound would present for both of these parties in the relationship dynamic when we particularly look at the communication house of one needing to be open for discussion and one kind of being very unable to hear the other person's opinion. So that's just a very quick look at 2 charts together. And if you are interested in having yours done, please check out my website and take advantage of that special price, which is on until the 29th of December. Thank you for tuning in. And as always, stay weird.